Welcome to The Explainer. Let's just dive straight in, shall we? Today, we're unpacking a really practical roadmap to achieving a totally balanced life, and we're using yoga as our vehicle to get there. Now, I know yoga can sometimes seem, well, a bit intimidating, but the material we're looking at today strips all of that away. It's a super approachable, structured journey. We're not talking about twisting yourself into an impossible pretzel here. It's literally just a clear, straightforward path to building a strong, grounded routine. Which brings us to this big question. Have you ever desperately wanted to find total life balance, but you just didn't know exactly where to start? If you're nodding right now, trust me, you're definitely not alone. It's a completely relatable and honestly, a pretty overwhelming feeling. We all want that physical health and mental well-being, right? But looking at that massive mountain of getting healthy can leave us totally stuck on step one. The absolute brilliance of the roadmap we're breaking down today is that it completely removes the guesswork. It acknowledges that, hey, starting is the hardest part, and it gives you a direct, no-nonsense path to get moving without feeling lost. So where exactly do we kick things off? Well, it starts from the outside in, by building your physical foundation. When you start a regular yoga practice, you're not just stretching a few muscles, you're essentially hitting a giant reset button on your entire physical form. The text we're analyzing makes it super clear that a deep, consistent routine works on the body fundamentally before anything else happens. You've got to lay the bricks before you can build the house. This initial phase is all about waking up those dormant joints and muscles, setting the absolute groundwork for all the amazing benefits that are about to follow.
Now, this physical foundation actually breaks down into two distinct but totally equal parts. We're talking about flexibility and strength. A lot of folks just assume yoga is only about being bendy, but our source explicitly points out that the body actually needs to develop both of these at the exact same time. They have to coexist. Think about it. Flexibility without strength, that just leads to instability. And strength without flexibility, you're just going to be incredibly stiff. By practicing regularly, your body learns to harmonize these two forces. This balance of flexibility and strength is the absolute structural steel of your entire practice. Literally everything else we're going to talk about today rests firmly on these two pillars.
And once those two pillars are locked in, a really remarkable domino effect kicks off. Because you've built up that strength and flexibility, gradually, your everyday balance improves. And because your balance improves, your posture automatically corrects itself. Now, here is where the physical meets the psychological. That better posture directly leads to increased self-confidence. You literally walk around standing taller. But it doesn't just stop with the physical stuff. The source points out that this routine naturally brings you a calm mind, massively reduces your daily stress, and ushers in some incredibly deep restorative sleep. So building that initial physical foundation naturally cascades into these absolutely incredible mental and emotional benefits. And the cool part is, this physical shift naturally evolves into an entirely new lifestyle. The source highlights this fascinating phenomenon where, as your body transforms, your diet naturally shifts right along with it. Without any harsh, forced dieting, because nobody likes that, right? You gradually start craving lighter, more nutritious food. Your body just becomes hyper-aware of what makes it feel heavy and sluggish versus what actually fuels it efficiently. It's a completely organic transition. You aren't restricting yourself at all. Your internal chemistry and awareness have just changed so much that you naturally reach for the stuff that genuinely nourishes you. Which brings us to a highly relatable and honestly super unexpected fact detailed in our source text. Hair fall often decreases because your tension is reduced. I mean, how fascinating is that? We spend so much money on expensive shampoos and hair treatments, but our source draws a direct, scientifically sound line between the stress-lowering power of yoga and the physical health of our hair. Tension and stress restrict blood flow and create inflammation, which just wreaks havoc on your hair follicles. By calming the mind and lowering that internal stress through your daily practice, you're actively treating a physical symptom from the inside out. It's just a fantastic reminder of how deeply connected our mental state really is to our physical well-being. Okay, so the crucial question now is, how do we actually implement all of this? Well, the roadmap gives us what it calls a golden rule, and it's remarkably simple. Pick a time, morning or evening, and just add one new practice every single day. That is literally it. No 2-hour marathon sessions required right out of the gate. The real secret to progress here isn't intensity, it's consistency. By locking in a specific time of day, you completely remove decision fatigue. And by taking it just one day at a time, adding one single new movement or breathing technique, you make the habit completely bulletproof. It's all about taking small, manageable bites that your brain and your body can easily digest. Now, this progression is incredibly well structured over a 10-day timeline. On day one, you keep it super gentle, just some light stretching and pranayama, just getting used to the breathing.
By day 2, you introduce a light flow with a classic Surya Namaskar, or sun salutation. Then on day 3, we add a balance element, specifically learning Viksana, the tree pose. Do you see how we're layering the skills there? Flexibility, then a flowing strength, then balance. Our source promises that if you just keep adding one step a day, by day 10, a major shift happens. You will have developed the confidence and the physical memory to execute a medium-level yoga flow. Literally, in just 10 days, you transition from a hesitant beginner to someone feeling undeniable, real progress.
And that brings us to the end of this roadmap, but really, it's the very beginning of your journey. So I've got to ask, when are you starting day 1? Are you a morning person? Or are you going to go with the evening? The blueprint for a balanced life, a stronger body, a calmer mind, and yeah, maybe even better hair, is sitting right here. The choice of when to take that first step is entirely up to you. I highly encourage you to make that decision right now as we wrap up this explainer. Claim your time, stick to that 10-day progression, and just see what happens when you build that foundation. Thanks so much for joining me to unpack this really fascinating routine, and I absolutely can't wait to see where it takes you.